What's happening, folks? Welcome to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We've got a quick show tonight. We're going to wrap up the All American Kayak Classic. We'll get that wrapped up with you here. Touch base on a little bit of what's going on there. We'll talk about the next big event coming up here with the All American Kayak Series. And we're going to touch on a couple events coming up here, right here in my home state, Colorado, with the CKFC and the CKB. Stick with us here. Let's go ahead and get this thing riled up. Happy Monday evening to you folks. Episode 32. Can you believe it? We're already at episode 32 for the year. Man, we've been busy. Lots of interviews, lots of stuff going on. We're pretty much right now in the thick of things here in the tournament season, though. So that's certainly changes a lot of the content here that we try to bring to this. But we'll continue to keep moving on, talking service, talking fishing, talking kayak world out there, and get things through. Before we get going too much further, tonight's episode, of course, the entire show is brought to you by Battleborn Tackle, right? Battleborn Tackle, veteran-owned, small business. Go check them out. If you're looking for tackle, go hit them up. Their prices is as good as any place you're going to find out there. They're offering free shipping on a ton of stuff, which in and of itself is a huge savings. And you're doing a good thing, man. You're supporting a small business. You're supporting a veteran-owned and a first responder-owned. The guy that owns Battleborn Tackle is also a Las Vegas firefighter as well with a small family. So you're doing good things, and you're getting awesome fishing gear at great prices, man. You can't beat it. If that wasn't enough for you, just use TPO 2024, and you're going to get an additional 10% off on any order of $10 or more. That's TPO, True Patriot Outfitters, TPO 2024. That's going to get you set up. Tonight's episode, as the entire weekend kind of was for us here at the home base, was brought to you by the Romans Warrior Foundation and all of its divisions, man. We were in Clinton, Missouri. We had the wall on hand. What an awesome, awesome community there. The All American Kayak Classic, Everhart's put that on. Put that together. The Greater Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce made it possible for us to get the wall in there. Go check out the socials. You'll see all the pictures of it out there. Had some just amazing conversations with several people that stopped by. Several of our brothers and sisters were stopping by there, the wall, and either received some healing pieces when they were there visiting, or started that process, man. And that's why we do this stuff. Of course, seeing Brian and his family and Shannon, little man Logan there, that was super cool. Them coming in from Alabama to get the wall in there, and just having a lot of locals, having some people in surrounding towns come up and check out the wall, man. That's what it's all about. And who knows, man, we might have something in the works there to get back to that area of Missouri again, and maybe do something even bigger. Bring all of our divisions to bear. And as you see at the bottom of the screen here, this is all of the that's what's encompassed, if you will, under the Romans Warrior Foundation, the GWAT Wall, Stop 22, Field Ops. All of those you can find at the social handles there that's out there. And it's all non-traditional forms of therapy, man. But above all, at the end of the day, the biggest piece that it does is create that camaraderie. It creates that family. And that's where the kayak fishing side comes in. We had all of the veteran first responder active military stand up and be recognized there. And I'm telling you, man, it was a solid batch of individuals throughout that crowd of anglers that just attended the awards ceremony, let alone were partaking. So super cool, good stuff. All American Kayak Classic, man. You want to talk about a struggle bus, y'all? That thing was rough. Before we get going too much further here, we got a couple comments coming in. My man Stony Floyd out of Kansas, fishing from Moyak down there. What's up, brother? What's up, Stony? And then of course my other homie, my brother from another mother, Mr. Matt Collins, joining us out here. Thank you, gentlemen, for tuning in. We always appreciate that. So yeah, man, let's get to the struggle bus here. So, you know, rising water, rapid rising water, that was in play. When that happens, muddy water comes with it. Now, I'm going to be honest, man, after coming from a lot of the natural stuff up there in Minnesota, fishing and cutting my teeth up there, you know, uh, high muddy water in and of itself isn't always, a horrible death sentence. What I personally have found, just me, my experience, I don't like muddy cold water, right? I mean, those combinations right there, that spells bad for me. But high rising water, but I don't know, man. Maybe it was just because of how fast it did rise, that how fast it did come up, that it created such a monster issue. But it was a tale of geographic location, brother. I'll tell you that right now, as far as where you were to be able to reliably find fish. It wasn't just clean water. That was not just the game. Cleaner than complete, blown out stuff for sure. But there were guys catching fish in stained, muddy water. That's it was, but it certainly did seem to favor that south end of the lake. I'll tell you. Um, just after talking to a bunch of people at the award ceremony, that seemed to be the name of the game: is get further south, and it tend to see your fortunes increase there. But after day one, yeah, it was. I associated this like with an old boxing match from the old days. I hit that guy as square and as hard and as fast as I could with everything that I had learned, and smacked him square in the jaw of that Lake Truman, and it sat there and grinned at me. Um, so I, like many other anglers, had a really rough day one, for sure. I kind of knew it going in. I had to learn a hard lesson here, that trying to work these events, from the nonprofit side and fish them. Um, I was telling a couple people this, and this is something I'm a firm believer in. Our sport of fishing, competitive fishing, it is absolutely 100% unforgiving in this department. What you put in is what you get out. Just no two ifs and buts about it. When you are going to compete at a higher level against, beyond just your backyard pond, if you're going to go out, stretch out, what you put in is going to greatly influence what you get out. And I'll be straightforward, man. I just did not put in time and work. I just didn't do it, right? And at the end of the day, I knew that. And so the last thing I was going to do was going to go out on competition day and try to expect some sort of great results for me, because quite frankly, like I said, I just couldn't get my head dialed in there. There were too many other moving parts going on. For stuff that was taking place with the wall and with the classic, getting things. Josh and Tyler did the lion's share of it. I had a very small part in the classic. Most of my stuff that I did to help was pre-leading up to there, but coordination to make sure that the wall and volunteers and everything was going to be in place, that was still alive and well the day of the first start of the tournament. And I guess like I said, I had hoped, because the inner side of me still wants to compete, but I learned that vital lesson, that I can't do them both. So I had to make a choice, and so I chose working the wall, which was my commitment, my first priority, and working with the foundation there to make sure that goes in. So, nevertheless, man, the anglers out there really struggled. I think I don't quote me on this 100%, but I think it was some crazy thing like over 100 anglers, put goose eggs up after the day one. And I tried to explain this to a couple folks that were at the wall that, didn't really know much. That group of 189 anglers, that's not a bunch of schlumps, man. This is some of the best anglers coming in from around the Midwest, which, quite frankly, knows how to build strong anglers, just flat out. The Midwest of this country does. And so these are solid anglers that are struggling out there, that are looking at this. What was super cool, though, was what happened day two. There were so many people that bounced back, man, that tucked their chin in the pocket, they put their head down, they went to work, and they got the job handled. We had several from Colorado do that. I know several of the Moyak guys, several of the Natural State guys did. People really, they just worked hard, man, and they done their homework prior, and so that's so I love seeing that when our sport puts that, you know, straightforward non-display that the hard work pays off. It doesn't always, just like life, but more times than not, it will for sure, man. And so, yeah, that was super cool to see, um, and crowning the champ there. That was awesome. He was beside himself. So that was cool to see. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. I'll tell you that right now. Go out to the All American Kayak Series page and check it out. You can read it right there for yourself. But yeah, and then let's get to it, man. Let's talk that team championship, right? I mean, it's not the biggest money of all the titles that you get, but Lord howdy, is it probably carries some of the biggest machismo behind it and just the pride, of the states and the home team. Home field advantage there, it actually paid off a little bit. And I don't even think home field advantage paid off, to be honest with you. Those conditions really leveled the playing field, right? I mean, it put normal spots that a lot of the people that have maybe a lot of history at Truman, it kind of threw that on its head. So you had to really buckle down and go to work. And when you look at who the players were involved there, I mean these are some premium anglers and hooks that put that together. But yeah, Moyak brought it home. And speaking of Moyak, we have joining us on the YouTube side of things. Thank you for all your work, Gene. Absolutely. It's completely my pleasure, sir. But yeah, Moyak Fishing, man, it's one of the top clubs in the nation. I don't care what your feelings are on it. The fact of the matter is the numbers show it. You look at quality anglers, you look at the numbers of anglers that show up, you look at the types of water they fish, and how it's run, their reputation, their history, their current. It's one of the top clubs in the nation, just like the Natural State anglers down there. That's one of the top clubs out there for sure as well. And it's this isn't just something that gets handed out. It's stuff that's earned. And when you see the level that these anglers play at, what they can do in different conditions out there, it just it's proof to the pudding, right? And so it was cool to see that. And the sticks, highly well represented. The sticks, those Nebraska anglers, they're known. Um, and to see those guys, Heartland kayak anglers, that has some anglers out of Iowa. Looks like some anglers out of Nebraska and a few other areas around there as well. They had a great showing. And then of course, um, the piece that I get to here, our CKB, our Colorado Kayak Bassmasters, come in fifth place, um, and with no help from a couple of us, and mainly I for sure let my team down, but to the CKFC anglers that brought two teams in, one for their multi-species and one for their bass league, and then the CKB anglers. So unbelievably proud to be from Colorado at the Classic with that group, because man, I'll tell you what, this is not an easy task to, as we all know, to get time off and then to drive 10 and a half, 11 hours, and go fish water that, quite frankly, is nothing like what we have back here. We're very, boxed in on the kind of water that we got to fish, and that couldn't have been more polar opposite if it tried to be different out there. And I just, like I said, watching the CKFC anglers, getting excited about their finish, winning some raffle prizes. Bro, it just felt so good. It warmed my heart watching this, and I can't thank every one of the Colorado anglers out there that made that trek to Truman, that had a good time, spent time, and made memories for hopefully for a lifetime. And I hope everybody had a great experience there, because it was, like I said, it was super cool. And I thank you, man. Thank you all. Without my two Colorado clubs, the TPO podcast would not be on the map at all. We wouldn't be anywhere. They have been the heart and soul of our supporters, and we love all of them, whether they like us or not. We love them all dearly. um, it's just one of those things, man. That it was just wanted to give those kudos and those hands up. All right, let's get to a couple more comments here. We got there's my man out of Minnesota stopping in. What's up, Andrew? And here is Mr. Truman Lake himself. What does he have to say, Mr. Tough conditions, and the lake didn't get to really show out, but still had a great event. And I think everyone had a great time. I couldn't agree with you more, Jared. You hit the nail right on the head there. And for those of you that live under a rock, that man right there knows that lake like the back of his hand. That's the guy right there. And so yeah, he had a hell of a derb. Came in second place. Took home $5,000 on that one. Not a bad haul for second place. You know what I mean? I mean that's a pretty good deal. Let's see. Matt's got in here. Yes, Colorado guys and gals learned what stained water truly is. Yes, sir. Couldn't have said that any better. Let me see. Well, Andrew asking, how do I order a hat and other merch? That's a good question, man. I'm going to be straightforward and honest with you on that. This last year, we had a pretty decent year, but I had to double down and focus very clearly on things, costs, administrative costs. I am trying to subscribe right now to a 70 15-15. And what I mean by that is of donations that come in for these first 2 to 3 years, we're going to try to put 70% of that donation is going to go to services, 15% goes to admin, the other 15 to marketing, so that we can get our footprint out there, right, and get moving. Eventually we'll have a goal to move to an 80-10-10. That's going to be kind of where we want to see that. But within that administrative will also be salaries and things of that nature when we get to that size. So part of that deal, brother, where I'm going with this long story is that we had to shut down our store. I turned that off because it cost money each year to go that. So we kept the website up, we kept all of our services in place there, but we started trimming back. Matter of fact, I mean we're looking now if we can secure a couple things in place, which might be happening in the next few weeks. We'll get that store back up and running, and then we can start getting back into merch and start going with that stuff there. But if you're looking for Roman's Warrior stuff, any of that kind of stuff, I think Roman's actually still has some stuff available you can call up. But Andrew, get with me, man. Hit me on the DMs afterwards, and I'll see what I can find you as well. We'll get stuff set up. Last comment we got here. Let's see. Shout out to Mr. Romans. Glad to get time together talking with the wall a bit. Tell he's got the right heart for it. No question about that, man. It took me 45 minutes when I first met him a few years back, and I realized this is the dude I need to be working with because he's going to teach me a lot, and I think I can help him in a lot of areas. And yeah, man, Brian Romans and his wife, his entire family, they're family to me now, not even friends. I look at them as family and would do anything that we can because I know where their hearts are at and what they're trying to do out there. So Stoney talked about packing for Boji. Isn't that right, baby? That's the next thing. Let's talk about that. Next thing on the list, All American Kayak Series presented by Z Pro Lithium batteries on its way to Okoboji, Iowa. If y'all don't know, go read the last, 2-3 articles that Bassmaster puts out every year. They do a yearly top 100 lakes. Go take a peek at where Boji lands every single year. Usually in the top 10, maybe top 15 in the country. It's a sleeper chain of lakes, folks. I'm telling you that right now. There are big fish hiding in that water. And we're heading there. We're going there. Arrowwood Resort has been purchased a couple months ago, but they are still remaining on. They are our host hotel. There's angler rates that you can get there. I want to say it's about 90 some odd bucks a night. Really nice place, y'all. Really nice place. We're going to have the awards there in a really, really cool conference center we're going to be able to get set up in. Yeah, so it's we can't wait to get there. There, like I said, the Arrowwood Resort is what it was. I'm trying to get to it right now. To see what their name change went to. I want to say it's Lake Okoboji Resort. That's what I believe it's. So it's not real difficult. Even a knucklehead like me can, piece that together. Let's see here. Nope, that's the wrong place. Here we go. We are looking at Lake Okoboji Resort. Yep, formerly Arrowwood. So we'll send out a lot of that location. We'll put that kind of stuff up there. Tell them you're with the All American Kayak Series if you want to get booked up there. Like I said, really, really nice place. Boji is a beautiful community and a beautiful set of lakes. You got west, you got east, you got what's that, Minnewaska down there, Lower Gar. All that chain is going to be all in play. About the only one that isn't is that Center Lake Wildlife Management Area and Center Lake itself. That's not in play. But I want to say even Big Spirit is in play. I'm almost positive of that. We'll have to talk to the man himself, Josh, about that. Um, and I'm telling you, folks, that if you hit this right, they have done a great job in that fishery. Man, there are going to be big stringers going up on the measuring boards, man, for sure. Um, what do we have here? A couple more comments coming in about Boji. Boji will see the most fish and biggest limit of the year. More than likely, Mr. Brandis, I couldn't agree more. Andrew, who lives not too far from that, couple hours from there, he just said they had a tourney there yesterday and took 23 pounds to win. Big bass was 666. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a ton of fun. If you're not signed up yet, get signed up. Go over to the All American Kayak Series. Check out our page here. Go hit us on Tourney X. Get signed up. Let's go. Tons of options in the area. There's also a Pure Fishing who happens to own Abu Garcia, Berkeley, a few names you might know of. One of their main factories is right there, and they have a factory outlet store that's right there with a bunch of discounted items. Be careful going in there because you will spend a way lot more money than you realize, because as soon as you see that stuff, you're going to want some of it. That's right there in Okoboji as well. So you can't beat that, man. It's right there. And the people, the services, the food's great. The people around the area are super cool. Fishing is part of a life there, and this is the tournament season and tourist season stuff. That's part of it. That's what drives that whole community. So, going to be a lot of fun. Great place to have a tournament. Great place to go fishing. And there's, like I said, there's lots of options. If you want to bring the family, do a little outing here. Great place to do it. I know there's places you can rent boats. You can do all kinds of stuff. So that's coming up in about 2 weeks. We're going to be there May 18th, May 19th. Stop number 2. Remember, we got a full day Saturday, and then our Sunday is like a 2/3 day. We shut down a little bit early there so that we can get the awards kicked off around 2:30. We'll be going with the awards there at Lake Okoboji Resort, formerly known as the Arrowwood Resort. And again, we'll send pins. We'll put all this information up in the socials and everything. You'll have that stuff right in front of you, so you can get a hold of that. And again, this is our 10 fish format that we got going here. So 10 total fish, doesn't matter when you catch them. You can catch 10 of them and put those up on the board on day 1, or you can catch nothing day 1 and catch 10 on day 2, and those 10 are going to go towards your total. Or you can split them up between the 2 days. The one caveat to this is all the fish you catch on day 1 must be submitted. You can't sandbag and hold day 1 fish for day 2. They won't be accepted if the picture timestamp doesn't have that on there. So, but it is a 10 fish. So again, if you're never out of it, man, down to that final bell, you're never out of it. You land on a nest of them, get after it, and you hit day 1. If you hit a real good, honey hole in a hot spot, burn it down. You don't have to save those groceries for day 2. Burn it down and just put those bad boys up on the deal. If you can't make both days for whatever, but you still think you've got a good game plan for day 1, some guys will do that. Some guys will just, they're there for day 1. They put their 10 fish up, or their however many fish they put up on the board, and they let it ride and see what happens for day 2. That's an option for you. But we highly encourage the local anglers that are coming in there that we're going to be working with the local club that'll be there at the convention center with us for their awards. We highly suggest and hope and recommend, please join up with us. Double tap on this and get in with the All American. There's some serious money to be had there, and heck, man, if you've got experience on Boji, that gives you a little bit of lead up on some of the guys that are coming in traveling around for sure. So that's what's on deck there, man. Boji, go check it out. All American Kayak Series, powered by Z Pro Lithium. Of course, all the great sponsors that we have with our series there, such as Rogue, Dubro, Catch. We got in there. been a great deal to put together and have these brands helping us out. We'll have some giveaways at the awards for sure. Maybe do a couple of raffle drawings there, and give away maybe some tethers and possibility of some catch boards. We'll see what's up with that, or we might try to bank a lot of this stuff up and hold it till the final big championship as well. All right, dude. So let's change a little bit. Talk about some of the local stuff here. What we got coming up? CKB, Colorado Kayak Bassmasters, this weekend at the Tooth, Horsetooth. Horsetooth was not nice to us last year. It was brutal. That was a rough fishery. So let's hope it bounces back for this spring event here. We're coming in at a great time. We'll see the water levels. It's kind of chilly though, man. I got to be honest with you. It's like barely 60 degrees out there right now and real windy. We'll see what happens here in the next couple. We got some rain on the way in, so that should be curious. We'll see how that affects things. But right now we got about 30 anglers on deck here. They got a couple more days to get signed up and get rolling up there. This is the start to the Colorado Kayak Bassmaster season. The trail that leads to the end at the championship, that leads to the Bassmasters National Championship that'll be down in Texas. Another close one for us Colorado folks, man. So you don't want to miss your chance at this. Simultaneously going off, brand new club that just popped up here that we're helping get off the ground is the Wyoming Kayak Bassmasters. Not a lot of activity up there, but there are some anglers up there. But maybe having not much experience when it comes to dealing with a bass club. So a group of individuals has gotten together and put together the Wyoming Kayak Bassmasters. And for this first season, just to kind of get the club off the ground and get them rolling, they're going to have their qualifying event right across the border in here in Colorado at Horsetooth. Just because a little bit easier to manage something like that for this first year. Next year will look a little bit different for sure on how they do it. But for this first year, to get the club established, get it on its feet, get things rolling, which this is not unheard of. I mean, I think the CKB's first qualifier ever was over in Nebraska when it first started up just to get rolling. So it's not unheard of that things like this happen. And hey, man, anything we can do to help other states get themselves established and get a club going, that's awesome stuff. That's how we do it, work together. So what's important about that is if you're with the CKB event, man, your WKB event is basically, it's only like $10 to kick in and jump in that one. And they're going to send 10% because that's the qualifying championship singular event. They're going to send 10% of that field is going to be going to next year's national championship. So don't miss your chance on that. Get signed up for both of those. And get yourself set up and ready to go. That's up at Horsetooth. That's number one, getting things fired up. Now, looking over at the CKFC, it looks like the weekend that we are in Okoboji, which, by the way, Josh Booth just chimed in for us to give us a good link here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this up. Where is it? There it is. Boom. Look in the comment section on Facebook. You will see this link right here. That's how you can get signed up for the Trail Series. Go in there. You find the rules in there. Make sure you're familiar with those. You can see the boundaries to these events. You can see everything that's in there. And that's in the comment section. He's created that link in there for you. So go check that out. But that weekend that we're at Boji there, it looks like the CKFC here back in Colorado has that weekend, they've got a pair of tournaments going off. May 18th, Saturday, is their multi-species event at Pueblo. That's going to be, looks like their first event for the multi-species for that series. That kicks off. So that's going to be down there, Pueblo Res, basically my all favorite place to fish in the entire state. And then for their bass series is event number 2, May 19th. So it's the following day. The bass series goes out there at Pueblo Reservoir, and they'll be getting that event going there. Really wish I could join them there, but unfortunately I will be in Iowa, so I don't have a private chopper just yet to be able to get back between the two. Maybe I need to talk to Collins about this. Maybe we can work something out. What do you say, Matt? Get me between Iowa and those in there. But nevertheless, man, that they're going to get their seasons cranked up, get it rolling. Their bass series is going to bounce back after that Boyd Lake freaking snowstorm that we tried to fish in. That was no fun. The Void Lake is what it ended up being for a lot of us. But yeah, so they're going to get going hopefully with some better weather there. May 19th down at Pueblo. Multi-species series starts up in May for them at Pueblo. So that a lot going on. At the weekend of the Memorial Day, we've also got that Global War on Terror's Wall of Remembrance Wall is coming to Colorado. We're going to be up in Fort Collins, man. So I'm super stoked about that. The Romans will be back. This time they're coming even further than the Missouri. They'll be coming all the way out here, up in Fort Collins, Colorado, with the wall on display for several days. And so Julie and I will get a chance to get over there and spend some time there, work there, and talk to folks around. So excited for that. Going to be a real busy month because right after that weekend, man, we are headed to Red Willow with the CKB, which I cannot wait. 2 events back to back, not a 2-day event, but 2 separate events back to back in Red Willow. Going to be camping for that one. Going to be a ton of fun to get over there. Every swing in there, you got a shot at a 20, 21-inch fish. Big old green fish hide in that water. So every cast, you got a shot at one. So we're excited to get back over to that place. So, all right, folks, we're going to wrap this thing up, man. The Classic was everything we expected it to be, and then some. Everhart's great job out there. All the people in there. But again, none more than the anglers. You guys making this trip here this year, the anglers, you make the All American Kayak Series. You make the All American Kayak Classic. You know, people ask about why we don't go to certain place, this place, that place. Hey, man, it's just about who signs up, right? It's about who gives us feedback, who signs up, and who comes out to play. If we get anglers, you know, showing up and doing this, then we can afford to keep the series rolling. It can take care of itself. We try not to do a ton of overhead in this. We keep that super low. We try to make sure this money goes back to you, the angler. And the whole purpose of that is just so we can go to areas of the country that a lot of the big games don't go to. And that way we can get on some really cool fishing, man. That's really what we're aiming for, is to get on some great fishing, great times, good, you know, friendly environments, memories, big fish. I mean, can't go wrong when you get all those things together. So stick with us for next week. We're going to touch base on a couple topics there. I might rattle the cage a little bit with a couple opinion pieces here next week when we're chatting. And we got some cool news we're going to share next week when we just about some future thoughts and ideas of where the show could be heading and where certain things are going. Well, you just never know what we're cooking up, man. We're always looking for that next piece here. What's the next chapter? What's the next evolution? So that's where we're at. Folks, subscribes. That's the big thing. Share it with your friends. Our YouTube channel is really our biggest focus. That's what we've been working on. That's what's taken off. That's where we've seen the best traction, reaching out and touching base with folks. So anything you can do to help us there, we sincerely appreciate it. By helping us with that, you're just helping us spread the mission, man. And that's what we're here to do. We're not looking for trophies. We're not looking for any special treatment anywhere. Our objective is to serve those that served or are continuing to serve. And we're going to keep that going with your help. That's the only way we can do that. So we thank you all so very much. All of the folks that tuned in live here, thank you guys so much. I don't have words for you to express how much I appreciate that. And all you folks that are watching this later at a later time, thank you as well for taking the time. We'll get back up to speed on those audio deals and make sure we got that stuff flowing around. And for those anglers that came up to me and talked to me at the Classic, telling me that they listened to our podcast on their drive down here, dude, much love to you folks, man. That's I can't tell you what that does to this old guy, man. That's cool to hear. That's just flat out. It's cool to hear people and like the content and they like the stuff we're talking about. We tried to stay true to that. No selling out, none of that mess. We're not here for that. We're here to stay true to what we're doing and just keep it real. So feels good to hear that. So all right, folks, that's it. Enough jabbering. We're going to get our way on out of here. Tight lines. Be safe out there on the water this week. But above all, definitely get your butt out there on the water. Tight lines, be safe.